When I see that comment a lot, like this podcast fell off quick or whatever, it's going downhill fast. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know we were uphill.
I didn't know we were actually going uphill. I don't know if I'm developing like a foot fetish. I don't think I'm developing one, but
I think we all are.
I think, yeah, to an extent.
This weekend, I was at the state fair.
Yeah.
I walked for over 6 hours in Vivo barefoot shoes in the fucking sun, but I got through that and I've been like totally fine.
The thing is like when you're walking in normal shoes, you're able to heel strike and it dulls the impact.
And so I would step, I'd bend my knee, bring it back, and then try to keep that heel out. And then when I did that, what I noticed was like, whoa, dude, I am getting so much decompression in my back. Like it was insane how much pain relief I got just from not swinging my leg around.
Another practice that's super beneficial is jump roping.
Follow
Don't you
us.
fucking hate those people, bro?
Yeah.
Who are like, they see something, they're like, I was doing that first.
Like, how long did it take you guys to figure this out? I've been doing it forever. And I'm like, it took me 36 years.
Push the sled on the balls of your feet. That's one of the fastest ways to strengthen your feet. If you have like a tank or any of these awesome sled tools, you can push them just back and forth, and then you could pull them back and forth on the balls of your feet. You can legit just like pull your big toe right against that resistance band on that side. This will help the strength of the big toe on that side, and you can pull on that side. I laugh at the child rock because it just looks like bouncing on a dildo, bro.
Oh,
like,
dude, no, it gets significantly worse. Imagine doing that in a commercial gym where people do not understand these things. All right. So,
hey, that's your choice. That was your choice to go into a commercial gym and do this shit.
That's me with my ass straight up in the air as people are walking by. If I was single and I knew what I know now, and I think I see a chick that I might be interested in, if her feet are out, I'm like, no way. Like,
Oh my god!
I cannot procreate.
No duck foot bitches for me.
I can't procreate with this woman if she's gonna show my son how to. You know what I mean? Like it's just I'm gonna like that bloodline needs to stop right there.
Andrew, the savagery, Jesus, guys, these are jokes. Okay, these are jokes. This is not serious.
It would be something I would put into consideration though. What if her feet are straight and she has thick wrists?
Oh yeah. Honestly, straight feet, thick wrists.
Dude,
I'm starting to blush back
That's
here.
what I mean.
Our project family, how's it going? Now, as you guys know, we have been talking about cold therapy for a while. Mark, Andrew, and myself, we all use cold plunge XLs since we're pretty big. But the cold plunge is amazing. And there are a lot of cold therapy tools out there. Obviously, you can use your shower. But the amazing thing about the cold plunge is, number one, it doesn't take up much space in your home or your backyard. And number two, you don't need to change your water, unlike other cold therapy devices, for 6 months to a year. It filters itself. Let's not even talk about all the benefits of cold plunging, like the dopamine release, how good you feel after doing it, and just the cascade of hormones that happens after you get in some really cold water. It's crazy, and we love it. So, Andrew, how can they get it?
Absolutely. You guys got to head over to thecoldplunge.com and at checkout, enter promo code POWERPROJECT to save $150 off your very own cold plunge. Again, thecoldplunge.com, links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes. Pretty cool that you choked Mark out and kicked him off his own show.
Did we? Did we choke him out?
I mean,
Can you choke out that neck?
That's actually a really good point. I don't know.
That man has a very large, thick, veiny, dense
Remember that dude with a gigantic neck got arrested?
Oh my God. Okay.
And Bo Hightower ended up working on his neck.
What did they call him?
I just know everything was like who's next? Like everything was just a play on the word neck, and it was fucking hilarious.
Dog, imagine going through life with, I'm just sorry, but just like real time, imagine going through life with a neck like that. Like, first off, it's great that he was able to he made a career out of just having a long ass neck. He made money. He's still making money off of that neck. But I mean,
it was long, but
it's tough.
It like if you look at me, like I have like my neck goes like into my jaw. His was like it went to his ears. Like it didn't. It was fucking dope.
How about the black dude? I don't know his name, but he'd always pop up. People would pull up pictures of this black dude.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, you're not talking about the white dude with the long neck. You're talking about the black dude with the thick neck.
I think Bo Hightower worked on that guy too.
He worked on both of them. Bo Hightower, man, he's killing it. He's really killing it.
Super smart. But
Mark
no,
had
that's the
my
one I
brush.
was talking about. Yeah, this guy right here. Hold on. Open image.
Dog, this guy has to do jujitsu. He has to do jujitsu. It's just like chokes don't work on me, bro.
But like if he did jujitsu, he would just have to like tie his arms and legs together so they can't get like stuck in an arm bar or something.
Yeah,
He's just like, all you have is my neck. Good luck.
If y'all don't know what we're talking about, it sucks. But there's this dude.
Just Google black dude thick neck and it'll come up.
You don't know what else is gonna come up when you, man. You're about to make a lot of people find some porn on their screens.
No.
Black man, thick neck. That's problematic,
I mean, there's only a
Andrew.
cartoon of like a big butt, but other than that, it's all clean.
Hey,
Yeah, so we're good.
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Anyway,
How was your morning, dude?
morning's good. I went and trained, did some legses,
Mm-hmm.
did legs and a couple of other things inside the commercial gym.
Did you cold plunge this morning?
I did not cold plunge
You
because,
little pussy.
well, I worked out, so I didn't want to cold plunge too soon after.
Yeah.
I might be a little bitch at the end of the day when I'm supposed to do it and not do it because it's been way more difficult to do it at the end of the day than in the morning. For some reason, at the end of the day, maybe because I'm more awake, I have my brain's working, so I can come up with way more excuses to not get in versus the morning where I'm there and I say, hey, it's time to start the day. Let's just jump in there and then get out. And it just happens. Like I don't even think about it. Towards the end of the day, though, you're comfortable. You're like, dude, I crushed the day. You know, like I don't need to beat myself up some more.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like when I do get out of it, I am so grateful that I did it. I never get out of it feeling that like that was a bad idea, right? Like I just said, even just like the way I said it, I was like, oh, I don't need to beat myself up, but it's so good for me.
It's a state change. Like you can't go in it and come out feeling the same. Especially like at 55 degrees it's cold. You have it at 55. That's cold. That is cold.
56, but yeah, sure.
56. No. Well, you know what's fun? You know what's funny, dude? At Asha, this place that I go to, this bathhouse, they have a cold plunge in there, and their cold plunge is always at like 55, 56. So when I go in there, I'm just like, all right, it's cold, but it's cold, but it's not like the cold plunge goes down to 39.
I know, but still,
Andrew, why don't you do it?
Because it's already a hurdle to jump over right now.
Okay.
If I make it colder,
okay,
it'll make it that much more difficult for me to jump in.
Everybody, I need you to DM Andrew, or just if you can from this day forward. And Andrew, don't edit this shit out because I know you and your fucking tech wizardry. I need you to DM Andrew, or actually, no, don't DM him publicly. Do this.
Put it on the comments.
Go on his comments and just say pussy only. just type in pussy 39 degrees only.
Hey, no,
all right. That's too inflammatory. All right. How do we flame Andrew into lowering that temperature? Because you've been at 55 degrees for a few weeks.
56 for a couple weeks, yeah.
Well, okay, you know what? Now you're going back on your word. Because you said you were going to decrease by a degree every day.
I said I was, but once, so we'll go ahead and start all over. Started at 60, almost died. Once I got familiar with the whole process of just getting in this damn thing, I was like, I think I can handle it. 59. This feels great. It just feels better than what I just experienced. 58. Oh, this is a different cold plunge now. My skin got pink. It was painful. I
need to dive in, dude.
Got used to it, but eventually I got comfortable with the act of getting into the cold plunge at 58. 57 was a challenge, but it wasn't too bad. 56, again, it was like,
you're gonna take us through this like the alphabet, bro? Like what do you like? A, B, C.
I'm just explaining that each time it wasn't like, oh, that was, you know what I mean? Like it was significantly different. All right. Every freaking time, but no more so than when I went from 59 to 58. For some reason, that one crushed me.
When you teach a child to swim, do you put them on the shallow end initially? No, you throw them in the deep end, just like any good parent does. Because they learn how to swim. Either they sink or they swim. And they usually will sink. And then you'll catch them and you'll help them learn to swim. So just fucking sink, I know. Dude. And put it at 39.
And the thing is, too, so I have mine outside. And when it's a little bit colder or whatever outside, I'm in there. I'm like, oh, like this is going to be really cold. I'll get in and it'll be fucking freezing. And then the chiller will click on, which tells me that it is warmer than 56 degrees because it has to cool it back down. And I'm like, oh, you're such a little bitch.
All right. Yes. But you know what? What you were saying there real quick with doing cold plunges. By the way, guys, if you don't have a cold plunge, just take a cold shower in the morning. Huberman's talked about this, and quite a few people have talked about this. Like the dopamine release is still good, but the colder the better, which is why cold plunging is so good. And the cold plunge specifically is a really good cold plunge. But if you cold plunge after you exercise, so after you do some resistance training, I mean, research has shown that it like really dampens inflammation. And when you do weightlifting in the gym, or if you're doing any type of muscle building exercising, you do want that inflammatory effect that happens for hours after you lift to help you build muscle. So it could be detrimental to cold plunge right after lifting, which is why I don't do it after I lift, just to be safe, just to make sure that I'm maintaining. And you do the same shit, Andrew. You don't do it after you lift. So just keep that in mind. I think over the next few years, even Mark has said this, I think there's going to be more research to come out on cold plunging that kind of disproves certain shit. But until then, we're going by what the science says.
Yeah, right now we're in the first, I don't know, couple months of learning about fasting, where it's just like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to ruin my gains. But I think eventually we will hit a point where it's like, oh, all right, I guess it doesn't actually, doesn't make us take 2 steps backwards when we're trying to take 1 step forward. It might be like a quarter step backwards, but the benefits you gain from getting in and out of the cold plunge are going to outweigh any of the negatives, if any. However, again, I'm just like, I don't know for sure. And, I want to make some progress here, and I don't want to do anything to, minimize that progress. So I'm just going to chill and do it at night or right when I get home from work.
Yeah. And again, peeps, just take a cold shower. You'll feel so like if you stick in a cold shower for like a minute or two, the coldest you can get, the benefits that we get from cold plunging, you're going to get some of those same benefits, and that's free. So we're not trying to say, oh, the cold plunge is this magical thing. Take a cold shower. Trust me, doing that over time, it's a good habit to build.
Yeah. So real quick, because people might be a little confused, it's just me and Nsima today. Mark Bale is in...
Dead.
No, he's not. Dude,
oh, he did? So really...
Jesus. Fuck. This could be the worst podcast we've ever done.
Now, Mark is very much alive.
Very much so. He's running in New Jersey right now. So he's out with the family. So we just decided to go ahead and fire it up. Mark was just like, just tell everyone that Nsima choked me out, and that was that.
And Nsima's on trend.
That too. But also, so that's why we're running the show today. And then, Mark's going to be traveling again pretty soon. So hopefully you guys dig us enough to come back and check out these 2-man shows.
Or you hate us.
Or you hate us and you don't stay. And you're only catching this on like a Power Bite clip on the YouTube channel. And you're just like, hey, what happened?
This podcast is going downhill fast.
Dude.
But
like when I see that comment a lot, like this podcast fell off quick or whatever, is going downhill fast. Like, I didn't know we were uphill.
I didn't know we were actually going uphill. Nah, but we are going uphill. Thank you. I do want to say thanks to all you guys, because we've grown a lot within the past few years, man. Like, I think it was during COVID, we started going a lot. I think we were at 60,000 subscribers. And then at the end of 2020, things just started blowing up.
Yeah, I remember it might have been the COVID year, but
by the way, peeps, we will get into some really specific stuff for your feet in this episode. We're not just bullshitting. Like, there's a lot of exercises for your feet, and we'll talk about it. But you'll get a lot of good shit from this episode. But anyway, you were saying, Andrew?
I think it was whatever that year COVID was, but we were like updating Instagram, being like, we're at 48,000 subscribers, like help us end the year with 50,000. And then we started talking about dicks, and then we caught momentum, started having some amazing guests in-house, and then next thing you know, it was like 100,000. Like, oh shit.
You could have left the part where we were talking about dicks out, because now like
that's all we're known for,
because of penis. Well, I mean, technically,
our penis grew because we talked about penis.
Hey, just shows how great men are. Penis
cells
spurred the growth. A penis started the world, technically.
Well,
or was it? Is this a chicken and egg situation? What happened? Like,
according to there's a Twitter account that like just posts facts. They said the egg came first.
It makes a lot of sense, actually.
They said it was like a mutation. So like another animal, are chickens animals? Laid an egg that mutated into a chicken. But then my thing is like, okay, so then who that chicken fuck in order to make another actual egg?
Yeah.
Do they fuck like within their family to like make a weird mutation?
Are we just all incest babies?
That's what I was gonna say. Is like, so that's why like chickens are pretty dumb. Like,
Oh, God.
they'll peck the shit out of their own eggs until you put a rock there, and then they peck the shit out of the rock, and they're like, "Oh, that's hard. I can't do this anymore."
Yo, you know, it's
Chickens are dumb.
We're gonna get to the topic, but back in the past, people used to say me and my ex looked alike, and every time I'd hear that, I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
"Is this gonna be a problem?"
Yeah.
Like,
So they say that you start to look alike because like your mannerisms, your facial reactions, and that sort of thing. They start to like, you start to mimic each other basically because like you're standing in front of a mirror, but that mirror is your partner. But it is, I know exactly what you mean.
we had similar eyes and shit. But you know what? You know what though? We did a 23andMe, and luckily, like she was definitely one of the ones on the ship, and I've been back there. No, seriously. I was 99.9% Nigerian. I was in Africa, like they didn't get us, and she was here, like her ancestors were here and in the Virgin Islands. So there was enough split where if we did, we'd be fine with kids. But hey, whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's good that you guys figured that out, but it's also good that you're out of that room.
Oh yeah. And now we get to the topic of feet.
Yeah, so let's do it.
You know what's really funny, dude? As we've been really diving down the foot stuff, I've been at home, you know, I've been fixing all this stuff with my feet, the way I walk. You know, we got the correct toes, and I've been with Sam, right? I've been like looking at what she does. But the cool thing about her is she's never really focused on stuff about her feet, but she's always walked. Since she was a kid, she's always walked. And I've looked at her feet, and number one, I don't know if I'm developing like a foot fetish. I don't think I'm developing one, but
I think we all are.
I think, yeah, to an extent, because like I look at her feet, I'm just like, God, like, no, but listen, you know, when Graham came, now guys, this is a lot of real shit here. When Graham came to the gym and we started doing foot stuff, and there's a video on it on YouTube with Chris Bell, Mark, Graham Tuttle, the barefoot sprinter, and you too. And he was having us do like spread our toes and shit. I was able to spread my toes to a decent amount, but I didn't have as much control as like, for example, my girl Sam. The way that she's able to spread her toes when she did that, I was like, I want to lick it. Like, am I salivating? Like, But anyway, you know, that just shows that just walking a lot, because she's someone who takes minimum 10,000 steps a day, is really beneficial for your feet. But also obviously walking the right footwear. But the thing is like when Graham came, it'd be crazy if you guys could see the difference in Mark's feet too. Mark's feet were literally like his toes were casted together. Like he couldn't really have much mobility in his toes. But over time of doing more things barefoot, wearing barefoot shoes, barefoot sandals, etc., and just connecting more to the feet, you're able to move your feet more, but then things like balance, even the way that you train in terms of the way that you move, all of that improves. So everything up chain in terms of like your knees, your back, or all that stuff, it can stem from the feet if your feet aren't healthy. And most of us, including myself, our feet weren't in the best shape because we wore shoes and we wore socks, right? That kept all that shit kind of glued together. Like, let me ask you this, Andrew. What are you noticing as you've been going down? Like, you wear toe socks now, you wear Vivos, and you have zero barefoot slippers. What are you noticing in terms of how your feet are nowadays?
So I haven't been wearing the toe socks as much, just because I'm so lazy sometimes, dude. Like to put those things on, it does take time, and sometimes I'm just like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Yeah. But no, so what? Like right away, what I noticed when I barely first started wearing Vivo shoes, and then kind of doing the GOATA stuff, I forgot what we were doing. We were shooting something in the gym, and like I haven't been behind a camera in a long time, but I used to get wrecked on these like all day shoots. And I was just doing like BTS stuff, so like behind the scenes, I was just capturing a couple things here and there, but I was on my feet for like 6 hours. That would put me like on my ass at the end of the day. And when I got home, I'm just like, my back feels good. This is cool. My right knee isn't like destroyed. My feet aren't sore. Like, this is kind of cool. Because like what used to happen is, I'll start from the ground up. My feet would be sore. My right ankle would just get this gigantic knot in it, and I'd have to ask my wife to like rub it out. Like it was a fucking rub it out. Okay. She'd have to rub one out on the right side for me, but it would be like, it literally would be like another bone in there, and she would just have to like try to massage to calm it down, because it would just be fucking. Every time I take a step, it'd just be like a loud like click. I'm like, dude, I don't know what that is. Then going up, my right knee would be just swollen, and to this day, it still bugs me a little bit, but it doesn't like prevent me from doing anything. And then my hips, I didn't know at the time, were pretty jacked up, but it would go to my lower back. Lower back would always be in pain, but like just literally everything, and I would be super gassed. Yeah. So now with my feet being straight, my feet being stronger, I'm kind of getting around that to where I'm just like, oh shit, like it's like a little bit of a superpower, because I'm like, dude, before I would get through everything, but I'd get so beat up that I couldn't go home and still be me. I'd have to like put, my feet in ice or something. Like I just couldn't be me anymore. Yeah. So now with this, it's like, oh shit, like I can still go. I can keep going. This weekend I was at the state fair. Yeah. I walked for over 6 hours in Vivo barefoot shoes in the fucking sun. The hardest part was that the pavement was dark, so the sun was hot, so like the heat would go through the shoes. Okay. So I'd have to like keep moving, and I'd have to find shade, or else it would be like, ow, this sucks right now. But I got through that, and I've been like totally fine, So like,
let me ask you this, Andrew, because I think you have some really good insight on this. How has the way that you walk changed? Because guys, like this is really important. Like you wouldn't have been able to do this a while back, and I think everybody can relate to the idea of going somewhere and having to be like going to the mall, going to Disneyland or whatever, and you're on your feet for hours, and then you come back and you have all this pain and shit. Right? Like there have been times that I've gone places and like, ooh, my knees are kind of sore. And that's weird because I'm 28 years old. Like, you know what I mean? And that shouldn't be happening. But the way that you walk has changed. And this is something that you can legit change right now, or adjust right now in terms of the way you walk. So Andrew, how's the way you walk changed?
Yeah, and then we talk about microdosing too, so you don't have to all of a sudden click and now this is the only way you walk, because I fucked that up in the beginning. Okay. So when Gary Scheffler and Ricky, and then all the GOATA coaches that were here initially, when they first got here, they showed us blade walking. That's just what they called it. But basically, it was forcing me to catch my foot on the outside of my foot instead of like flat-footed on my heel, which is how I walked, because I never paid attention to it.
When you say catch your foot on the outside of your foot,
when I take a step, instead of landing heel striking, land on the you have the term for it.
The outside of the foot. Let me also mention this, and I know there's a specific whatever name for the outside of the foot. We could probably Google it real quick.
I know. I'm like, I've heard you say it.
Yeah. But the thing is like when you're walking in normal shoes, you're able to heel strike, and it dulls the impact. So your body doesn't really feel, your body doesn't feel how much impact that has. But when you start to wear barefoot shoes, or when you walk barefoot more, because I hate making like a cost to this shit. So understand, like you can do this barefoot, right? But when you start walking barefoot, you notice you cannot heel strike as hard as you typically do, because your body can't handle those types of shocks, right? And which is why barefoot shoes are so good, because when you now go on a long walk, you're adjusting the impact that you take with every single step. And the impact is something your body's actually able to handle. So then your knees, all your back, all of that stuff, they're able to handle it. So keep on, Andrew.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so what it does is that you create your own shock absorbers. Whereas before, I do it, even when I did switch to Vivos, I would still heel strike, and then, like all that I don't know, like
force.
That force is just going to travel upwards, and then for me, it landed on my back. But anyway, so I would do this, what they called blade walking. So basically landing on the outside of your feet, and then keeping my feet straight. Now that is still a chore to this day, because my right side definitely likes to go out. I was a driver for 6 years, so I would drive for like 6 to 10 hours every single day. Right foot would just be on the gas pedal, so just hanging out towards the right, and it still wants to do that. Yeah. But bringing that in, and then also lifting my foot up. I know that sounds dumb, but because what I would do, and I'll try to simulate on screen here, but is I would take a step, and on my way back, I would just drag it around. So I wouldn't bend my knee. I would just like swing it all the way around to get to the back.
Oh, yeah.
So I would land with my foot straight, swing it around, and then take the next step, and everything would be straight. And Mark's like, you're landing correctly. He's like, but you're not moving. He's like, your foot has to go straight back. Right now you're swinging it around. I'm like, really? Yeah. And so I would step, I'd bend my knee, bring it back, and then try to keep that heel out. And then when I did that, what I noticed was like, whoa, dude, I am getting so much decompression in my back. Like, it was insane how much pain relief I got just from not swinging my leg around. I couldn't believe it. So since I've been doing that, I've been able to walk a lot more. It's not something that's like, Stuart McGill's like, oh, all you do is walk and do the big three. And I'm like, bro, but when I walk, like, it hurts. Like, I have to not do it as much, And it's like, if that's the only thing I can do, then shit, like, this sucks. Like, it's going to take me forever to get out of pain.
Yeah.
It's because I wasn't walking correctly. So walking straight and making sure I pick that damn leg up so that way I don't like swing it around.
Yeah.
Has made me feel so much better.
Absolutely.
And that's what I do every single day. So like, again, we're dudes, so we want to lift, we want to have reps and sets and shit. Every time I go for a walk, every time I take a step, it's another rep. It's a rep to get better. I do notice that when I go barefoot, it's a lot harder to keep my right foot in, because it does want to drift out. Not sure why that is. It could just be because my feet aren't as strong as they should be, or as they're going to be.
Yeah.
But when I do have my shoes on, and these are still minimalist shoes, I can really turn that foot in, and I can get my heel out, and it feels fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think that's walking is the biggest way to make some of the changes that you were talking about to your feet, because those are reps that you're getting with every single step.
Yeah.
And if you start to run, cool, but not everyone, likes to run. Not everyone that's their thing. But I think like building the skill of running can also help give you some of those impacts on your feet that you'd like. Another practice that's super beneficial is jump roping.
Yeah.
And what's hella funny? I was jump roping for a while now, but Andrew Huberman had what's his name? Athlean X on his podcast, and Athlean X apparently Jeff Cavalier. Yeah. So apparently he talked about jump roping in that podcast. So when I made a video about jump roping, people were like, "Oh, this looks like you saw that Huberman episode with Jeff Cavalier. You're jumping on a trend." I'm like, "Bitch, we've been doing this down here. All right. It's cool that people are talking about, because Mark's jump roping, I'm jump roping, you're jump roping."
It's just another thing that we got to first.
I'm joking.
Before Huberman and Rogan.
Hey,
and then they made it popular.
They made it popular.
And then they took all the credit.
Yeah, no, it's because they saw it from us.
I mean, hey,
we started everything.
They follow
Don't
us.
you fucking hate those people, bro?
Yeah.
Who are like, they see something they're like, "I was doing that first. I was doing that first." Those people, bro.
The comments. So I posted the Susan Bratton clip.
Yeah.
From when we were talking about thrust in time.
Oh, did some guy was like, "Oh,
hell,
I've been doing
dudes.
this."
I was doing this back in the 80s.
Why do you need help learning how to do this? I've been doing this forever.
Well, yeah, and it's like, how long did it take you guys to figure this out? I've been doing it forever. And I'm like, it took me 36 years. Fuck off if, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care.
Oh, you're not a sex god like me?
Yeah. So I didn't come out the womb fucking just railing people. But yeah, I do dislike the we used to call them hipsters back in the day, but now it's cool to be a hipster. So
yeah.
Or is it still cool?
I think you see guys in man buns and shit, like that's still cool.
Yeah,
the hipsters just kind of different now. The hipster now still has the man bun to some extent, but now they wear baggier clothing.
I see. I see where this is going.
They wear baggier clothing, and they're doing their thing. But we were talking about jump roping.
Yeah.
Jump roping is actually a really, really dope in terms of strengthening your feet, because number one, it's pretty low impact. It's very easy to improve very quickly at jump roping. Like on day one, you're going to be smacking the shit out your feet. On week one, you're going to be smacking the shit out of your feet.
I saw you do it today.
I did it today. I smacked my feet today. But the thing is like over time, it doesn't take a long time to be able to get 20 jumps, 50 jumps, 100 jumps, 500 jumps, 1,000 jumps. It doesn't take a long time to do that. And as far as jumping's concerned, a lot of us are strength athletes. A lot of people that are listening train in the gym, or you do something like that, right? And you're not doing much where you're jumping, right? Or you're absorbing impact with your feet. But by doing the jump rope, you're able to just continuously your feet, especially since you're jumping off the forefoot, you're getting that impact over and over and over and over and over again. That bouncy elasticity that is really, really good for strengthening the tendons and the ligaments of the feet over time. And again, you could do this in your house. You could go to your backyard. You could take a break at work. Some people could do this in their office if they have an office and just do like 100 quick jumps. It's a really easy thing to add into your day that can, along with just walking with barefoot shoes or barefoot sandals or whatever, jump roping is one of those things that can really speed up the progress of how strong your feet get over time. And it's very low impact and it's easy to get good at quickly.
Yeah. Do you do any of the, I'll say tricks, but because you see boxers, how they work on footwork or anything like that. Do you do that or do you just jump?
So I've been messing with I'll do like single leg hops. Like I'll do 5 single leg hops, 5 single leg hops the other side and go back and forth. I'll go back and forth between feet, then I'll just jump again. But over time, you'll start having fun with it. Like you'll start doing the little fucking fancy thing to the side. But again, like when you start to go on single feet, not only are you now working impact on that single foot, right? But then you're working balance, impact when you're going from foot to foot, right? And as your feet get stronger, a lot of people you're training, balance is something that's in the back of your head. You don't really focus on balance because especially when you're doing something like a deadlift, a squat, you're rooting your foot flat on the ground and you're not thinking of losing balance. But when you start doing things on a single leg, jump roping on a single leg, now you're training that aspect of balance that may have gone untrained for quite a long time.
Yeah, well, because if you think about it, especially in the weight room, right? If anybody doesn't have sure feet, meaning like if you're going to go for a squat and your feet are moving around, you're fucked, right? It's like so we don't practice getting off of the floor. It's always like, how hard can I stay rooted? Even on the field, like especially like linebacker or linemen, that are trying to push into the other guy or run through them. I don't know, soccer on certain occasions if there's like a challenge or something, but we don't do that enough. We have to always be like, I'm going to just be stuck to the ground. And that's what happens with our ankles too, right? We get stuck and we can't get out of it. And we're like, why the fuck does my knee hurt?
That's one of the big things that GOATA talks about. I mean, that when we had that discussion with them, I was like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. Why maybe you don't want to be doing, if you're a field athlete or sport athlete, why you don't want to be squatting with a barbell on your back or you don't want to be deadlifting from the ground with your feet planted in the ground because in sport, you're going to be on the balls of your feet a lot. In sport, when you're flat-footed, you've lost. If a guy's coming past you and you're on your heels, you can't change direction quickly. If you're a basketball player and you're going at somebody, you're not going to be on your heels. And as a defender, you're also not going to be on your heels. You want to be on the balls of your feet. So there's aspects of that doesn't translate well with lifting, which is why, and something that I've been changing in terms of the way I lift, is I've been doing a lot of my lifts on the balls of my feet. So Mark has mentioned this before, and if you have access to a sled at your gym, push the sled on the balls of your feet. That's one of the fastest ways to strengthen your feet. If you have like a tank or any of these awesome sled tools, you can push them just back and forth, and then you could pull them back and forth on the balls of your feet, not going flat-footed. That will strengthen your feet very, very fast over time.
Yeah, and that's what I like about a lot of the stuff that we've been doing, but especially for myself. Like I don't do the hand-foot glove, which, by the way, people, is not an actual glove that you put on and you put in between your toes. It's just, if this is my foot here, I'm putting my hand up and I put my hand through my toes. That's a hand-foot glove.
Yeah.
There's not an actual glove.
Oh yeah.
I saw the comment. Sorry that we didn't clarify. But I'm not really doing that. I am doing the toe spreaders. I'm currently not jump roping. I will when you tell me to. Like we're just in the gym. Like, hey, try this. Like, okay, fuck, I'll do it.
By the way, as far as the jump rope's concerned, we are not sponsored or anything, but really good ropes are Crossropes. They have, if you go to crossropes.com, they have really great ropes, weighted ropes, speed ropes. They're high quality, right? Very high quality jump ropes. So, I mean, you can always just go to Walmart or Target and get the jump rope you like. But I would say if you want to have some fun with it and you want to really have a good jump rope to jump with, go to Crossrope.
Crossrope.com. Got it.
Yeah,
I see it. Yeah, I mean, it does look fun. I mean, it is fun, I should say. Let me put it up on screen. But it's just one of those things that, like, I haven't done this shit since elementary school, and like I'm totally honest. Like, when I grabbed it, I'm like, dude, I hope I don't look stupid. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a bicep curl. It's, you know, it's like fucking jump rope, and it's something that we all know that we've all done. Mm-hmm. But it's like, oh shit, it's been like 38 years or whatever. You know, like, it's been forever. So, you know, it's fine. And once you do it, it is literally like riding a fucking bike. Like, you just, then you're gonna be like, I wonder if I can do a double, and then you crack a toenail, and you're like, oh, oops.
But I love things like the jump rope. I love things like, even, we'll talk about some like fascia release shit, but just like this, you doing this underneath the table. There's no barrier to entry. You don't need to go to a gym to do this and reap the benefits. And if, like, that's one thing that we've been getting on a lot, like things that you can do just outside of the gym pretty much for free, that's going to give your body massive benefits. And jump roping, you could go anywhere and jump rope. You can go outside, get some sun, and jump rope, and it's the easiest thing you could do. You could literally just do 50 to 100 jumps, and that's beneficial for you, right? Because
get the heart rate up.
Think about this, dude. Outside of walking, and maybe some of you guys do a lot of sports and stuff, but for those who just lift, right? How often are you doing that? How often are you?
You're not.
You're not, right? But once you get a jump rope, you've now probably increased the amount of times you jump by like 100, right? And think about this. Over time, you don't use it. If you don't use it, you lose it, right? Mm-hmm. So as people get older, they lose that explosive ability. They lose that ability to jump. They lose the ability to sprint. But just having a rope with you can allow you to maintain that ability into your elder years. Like, it's a simple tool that has just crazy fucking benefit.
Yeah, and I'm going to get one. I got to get one. Carry it around all the time.
Let's fucking go.
So what I was getting at before that was, like, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is just passive. I'm wearing Vivo barefoot shoes every day, everywhere I go, almost to my detriment, because there's times where it's like, maybe I should be wearing something a little bit thicker if I'm going to be walking for 6 hours. You know, like, that could.
But you weren't in pain. It didn't bite you in the ass.
It could have, though. You know what I mean? Because, like, towards the end of the night, like, I couldn't get my foot to turn in when I went barefoot. But it just, like, it could have gotten bad. You know, I think, like, we should also recognize that, like, hey, maybe I should wear more comfortable shoes or more padded shoes when the occasion,
when the time calls.
Yeah, exactly, when it calls for it. But yeah, so like I'm doing that. I'm like right now, I'm currently, the way I'm sitting in this, kneeling, my feet are like, my toes are in the ground and my heels are up and out. So like small things like that, I'm always aware of like where my feet are now. Versus before, it was just like, what's the most comfy position I can get into? Yeah. And unfortunately, through bad habits, it was like, it would be duck-footed or, you know, just being lazy with everything. So it's things like that. And then like what you said, it's like, oh, I'm going to go push the sled for my whatever, like finisher for my cardio, for like I know it's going to sound weird, but like a chest pump by like pushing it and keeping it going back and forth. But actually what I'm doing is I'm strengthening my feet because I'm stretching them out. I'm getting on the balls of my feet. I'm like really stretching my toes out. So things like that where I'm not even thinking about it, because if I think about it, sometimes I'll probably like, I don't know. It's like, do I really need to do that? Like, I could probably get away with not doing it today or whatever. But if it's just something I'm already doing, kind of like a habit, it just happens automatically.
Yeah. You know, let's talk about the you mentioned the passive stuff that you can do for your feet. Obviously, you know, I think that the toe socks, we've talked about toe socks on the show, but toe socks are one of those things that also decrease the barrier of entry in terms of doing stuff for your feet. Because if you're at work, right, if you're at work and you're sitting at your desk or you're standing at your desk, not all the time do you want to take off your shoes and your socks. And there's a ton of different types of toe socks on Amazon, but if you take off your shoes, now you have access to your toes. And there are certain things that you can do, like this is not a good example, but like I think that you can get any type of small resistance band. This isn't a good example. I'm showing this on camera because it's like, think of my thumbs as my big toes, right? And think of these as my other toes. with a small resistance band. I think Slingshot has some of these, and then you can get any small resistance band on Amazon. You can legit just like pull your big toe, right, against that resistance band on that side. This will help the strength of the big toe on that side, and you can pull on that side. And you can literally do this while standing at a desk, while sitting at a desk, super passively. Not the greatest example, but I cannot find one of those tiny resistance bands.
Just think of a slightly bigger rubber band that's going to connect between your big toes, and then you just start ripping them out.
And that will help with the tendon strength of the big toe. And we've talked about how the big toe is really involved in terms of your glute activation when you're doing, like, if you root your foot into the ground right now, like, you know, like you're rooting your foot, you feel your glute activate. Now try to pick up your big toe and root your foot. Pick up your big toe and root your foot into the ground. You don't get that glute activation, but plant the big toe. Now you have that, it's much easier to fire. So the big toe links to the activation of the glutes, and you do want to strengthen that tendon in that area. So those big toe pull aparts are a very good thing, and you can do them at your desk. But toe socks decrease that barrier to entry.
That makes sense. I'm going to start wearing them. Before you move on, but what you were saying about like the glute activation. So when we were at the state fair, I was just like standing there, balls on my feet, and I would even get on my toes, but my heels were... I wasn't over exaggerating, but they were definitely out. So my pigeon-toed for people who can imagine or that want a visual.
Okay.
And I stood like that, felt my glutes. I'm like, okay, they're on. And then I went duck-footed, and they just total saggy pancake butt.
Same, and
like
then the hips fall forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then so it's funny because I was like, babe, check this out. I'm like, here, touch my butt. And then I did it, and she's like, oh, I could feel it. I'm like, yeah, I know, that's dope. She's like, yeah, keep doing that. I'm like, okay, fine. Yeah. But it was interesting because I'm like, you know, as somebody who has a hard time getting the glutes to fire, makes sense because I've been walking duck-footed my whole life. Just doing that, I'm like, whoa, what a difference it makes. So if you guys want to try it, just stand on the balls of your feet, try to get your heels out a little bit, keep your feet close to each other because we always go way too wide. But do that and then kind of straighten out your knees. Don't go locked knees, soft knees, but don't be lazy. And you'll notice that your glutes turn on. It's like, this is interesting that I've never done this my whole life.
Yeah. Power Project fam, this episode is brought to you by Vivo Barefoot Shoes. We've been wearing these shoes for almost a year now. They're flexible. They have a wide toe box. They allow your feet to get connected to the ground, and they will make your feet stronger, and they don't look like shit like a lot of these other barefoot shoes. Andrew, how can they get them?
For the best barefoot shoes on the planet, and they also look really, really good, head over to vivobarefoot.com/powerproject. At checkout, enter promo code PowerProject20 to save 20% off. Again, vivobarefoot.com/powerproject, promo code PowerProject20 to save 20% off. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes. Let's go ahead and get back to this podcast.
And for those of you that might, if you are duck-footed, right, understand that, like, Andrew, you were duck-footed, right? And now you have changed the way you walk, you've changed the way you move. So just because you are that way currently, it takes time. Don't expect things to just shift quickly, but you can change the way you walk, change the way you move. You can improve that. That's not just stuck. Because I think when we think about stuff in the gym, it's really easy to understand, like, okay, the weight on the bar is going to go up over time. I'm going to get stronger. I'll see that, right? But the way that we move, that's kind of harder to conceptualize. If, like, you are duck-footed and you do walk a certain way, you're like, I don't have to change that, or I can't change that. That's just the way I am. Like, nah, you can change that, bro.
Yeah, that, and then also like the ankle mobility. You know, like,
dude, you should pull up a video. Okay, so which
one?
Just the general GOATA warm-up that you guys did. I think the GOATA warm-up, as you'll probably be able to talk about, the GOATA warm-up is really good for the foot and especially the ankle complex. It really unlocks the ankles. And for most of us, even for myself, the ankles are pretty stuck. But when you can get some mobility in your ankles, that just won't help the way you move. That'll help your squat. That'll help everything. So if you can add aspects of that warm-up into your day, your ankles over time, not immediately, but your ankles over time will unlock.
Yeah. And then, you know, Mark has mentioned, like, hey, if it's hard to get down to the floor, like, you have a lot of things to address. But like for me now, like, getting up and down off the floor is pretty easy. And a lot of that, strangely enough, is because of my ankles, because now I can actually move. Like, I am very, very close to getting into a deep ancestral squat and just hanging out there.
Shit. That's awesome.
I am almost there. It's going to take me, I don't know, another year to like just sit there and be like cool.
It is extremely impressive with Ricky, who's 6'4",
Dude,
right?
yeah.
And he literally just hops in. Like he looks like Kelly Starrett can do that. That's what Kelly Starrett does. When he hops into that squat and he's like talking about it, he just hops into that perfect looking squat. Ricky's there, but he's 6'4", you know,
He's super lengthy,
and that takes away the excuse.
He's got the super long like femur and like all the excuses that like tall dudes give when it comes to like not being able to get down and squat correctly. But I'm almost there, and a lot of it. Well, I'm going to say all of it is going to come from these GOATA warm ups. So let me play this one here. So this is just the child rocker. So this is what we like start with initially. So Bam over here obviously is doing it like, I mean, I'm kind of there. My right side's still locked up, but it's almost there. Meanwhile, Mark, he still has a ways to go, but he's gotten a lot better since this time.
Wait, what is this?
This is day one. This is supposed to be the child rocker.
The child rocker.
So that's just when you like sit on your, basically sit on the back of your feet.
Sorry, it looks like I laugh at the child rocker because it just looks like bouncing on a dildo, bro.
Oh,
like,
dude, it gets significantly worse. It gets so much worse than this one.
When Gary was here, I was so fucking childish. Like when he was showing us it and he was bouncing up and down, I was just like, dog, I can't keep a straight face.
Now, imagine doing that in a commercial gym where people do not understand these things. All right. So,
hey, that's your choice. That was your choice to go into a commercial gym and do this shit.
That's me with my ass straight up in the air as people are walking by, just being like, "What is going on here?" And then I got my chakra bracelet on, so it's like not helping the cause. But
full hippie, brother.
Full hippie, and then I got the hoochie daddy shorts on too.
Oh yeah.
And then I don't touch barbells, so they probably think I'm like super gay. But anyway, this very simple thing is going to unlock your cankles. And then also, if you get your heels out, it's just going to help you like not be duck-footed. Because
foot position here is super important.
Yes. Yeah. But let me see if they do it on this one. Actually, this is another one that I don't even do this one, but it's fucking dope. Where is it? I know it's here somewhere. Here it is. So when you're talking about like unlocking your ankle, like, so this is going to teach Mark to keep his inside ankle bone high. And it's just really like you really need the ankle mobility to be able to do that. But it basically you're cornering, as they would say it, but then you're putting a little extra oomph on it, so that way you can really open up that ankle. That shit's hard. I can't even really do that one correctly still. And
I know a lot of, like, even when GOATA first came here, there are a few things I was skeptical about, but one thing that I was really impressed with was the focus on the ankle complex. Because now when you think about when you're walking, and it's very easy when you get tired as you walk to let your kind of like your arch collapse, right? So when you take a step, let's say that you take a step and your arch is collapsed, you collapsed, and you're on that arch. What also happens is your knee also comes in slightly. And what can happen with a lot of people is every single step that they take has a collapsed arch. What this does is it unlocks your ankle so that you have more ability to, when you take a step, you now are on the outside of your foot. When you're planning, you're on your heel, the outside of your foot. Then you'll drive off of, like, I think it's your second and big toe. You'll end up driving off of those, but you will not land flat on your arch, right? So that allows you, number one, I'm a person who had literally, I was flat-footed. And when I would like go and do my footprint thing for the orthopedics person, there was no arch there. I now have an arch because the way I move and walk has changed, partially because now my ankles are opened up and I can walk differently. So these things will help with that.
Yeah, we have a mutual friend that says that he has flat feet because his parents had flat feet, and like his whole family is just a family of flat footers.
Yeah.
But like this dude can really get his fucking feet out there. It's just interesting that we didn't know you could just reverse this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. This is another one. I don't know who this guy is, but shout out to this dude. So this one, what the fuck is this one called? This one
Child rockers?
Called, it's like a...
Child rockers, right?
Side-to-side rockers.
Oh, okay. Okay. Side-to-side.
So you're kind of in that same child rocker position, but you get up off your butt and then you're just going side to side like you're running.
Yeah.
Again, I feel awesome doing this in a packed commercial gym. People have no idea what I'm doing. But what sucks is we can't see the back of this guy. Or actually, look at that. He must be listening. So see how his ankles, he's kind of smashing his ankles and opening those up even more. I don't do it that far back the way he's doing it, but what it will do is that it's going to force, again, if this is my feet, it's going to force that heel to go out even further.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like as you go to the side, it's pushing that heel out and down, which is just like kind of twisting your ankle.
Mm-hmm.
But it's these things that I've been doing every day that's helping me get down in that squat. Like, how cool is it going to be when I can just chill out down there?
And for people that are like having problems feeling some of this, a tip that helped me out in terms of unlocking or like really feeling it in my ankles or some of those movements in my ankles was I was really focusing on my big toe initially. But when I focused on my 2nd through 5th digit or my 2nd through 5th toes and focused on keeping the load and the weight there, I felt a lot more in my ankles. And even when you walk, you don't want to, because I think there's a slight, everybody walks differently, but there's a slight confusion when people think, okay, drive off the big toe. But when you drive primarily off the big toe, that, you know, you will collapse your arch a bit. But if you drive, like you drive off the 2nd through 5th and the big toe is still on the ground, but it's not the only thing you drive off of, I hate to say that, ankle bone won't go low. You won't have that.
It's just a location. You don't have to go to it. You can just, you know, it is what it is.
But that will help when you guys do some of these warm-ups and you're trying to open up the ankles. And I think this is another thing that you could do at home. You could do some of this when you're watching TV. I know it's a lot to think about. You want to relax, but now you have to do a little thing. But these things can help unlock the foot, unlock the ankle. And it's very simple to add in. Yeah,
and then so like the last one that I would say is, you know, I mean, I do a couple different ones, but the last one that really, really helps with that foot strength and ankle mobility is the child rocker with the toes tucked in. So
that is a good one.
Instead of being flat on the top of your feet, you're actually tucking your toes in. So it's, you know, you're kind of, like I said, just stretching out them toes.
Tucking your toes.
Tuck them toes. And then, so you do the same thing. You bounce like if you're bouncing on a dildo, and you just get those same reps, almost the same look and feel, because your heels are going to try to push those out as far as you can. So doing all those has just, I mean, it's completely changed the foot game for me for sure.
Yeah.
And then as far as like, watching TV, and that's another passive thing. Like I just sit on the floor, you know, so the whole time I have either like I'm hugging like one knee, you know, as the other one's down, or sitting on crisscross applesauce or in Seiza, all these things, you know, it's like it's sort of like once you, I don't know, like I don't even drink anymore because it doesn't help me at all.
Yeah.
You know? So like when I sit on a couch, I'm like, this isn't helping me.
I feel you.
Is it helping me like relax? Yeah. You know, is it helping me like get into a comfortable position? Of course. But is it helping me overall? It's like, no. And if it's not, then it's probably because I'm too damn tired and I just need to go to bed.
There are some people that go the extremes. I think Corey, what's his name? Mark went and visited him in Texas. Kyle Kingsbury. Kyle Kingsbury doesn't, I don't think he has normal furniture.
No, he doesn't. He's my inspiration.
You know, you could go extreme and go no furniture, but I do like sometimes sitting on my couch. I'll sit on the floor and get work done. When we're relaxing, though, I'll be sitting on the couch. But yeah, I think that like when I get work done here, I'm always sitting on the floor. Right. You know what I mean? So there's you can be normal with this shit too. You don't have to go crazy, but you can go crazy if you do feel.
Crazy.
Should I call it? I feel like I'm being very offensive by calling it crazy. It shouldn't be crazy not to have couches.
Well,
it's just normal for us. We're so luxurious down here in the United States. Like we really fucking are, bro. Like think about it. Like, oh, I'm gonna sit on this padded seat in front of my big screen TV, chill it, right?
Well, that and then also though, I'm like, I don't even mess with that couch. I sit on the floor, like on the carpet, like
on your $1,000 rug.
I have that carpet, and then I also put like a really like a squishy pillow. Like it's you know it's not a couch. You know what I mean? It's not a couch. I'm badass. It's not a couch, but really it's like, oh, you're not actually on the floor. You know, it's like fuck yeah, no.
It's so funny that this shit
so weak.
Yeah, bruh. But I do find it really funny how, you know, we talk about this stuff, right? And it is really beneficial. But we're just trying to live like cats who are like who don't have anything, because they do move the best. Like the people who don't have all this shit that we have here in the US, they just move better.
they got better teeth.
They do have better teeth.
Better movement.
Why don't they have to get their wisdoms removed? I wonder.
Wonder if it's because they're not fucking
chewing,
pureeing everything.
But dog, okay. Other passive stuff, because we talked about sitting on the floor. That's beneficial in a lot of ways. The mini resistance band is good for the big toe pull aparts. Having a lacrosse ball, you can buy this cheap on Amazon. This is the Kiba brand, right?
It's like 2 for $10.
Yeah, 2 for $10. But I literally, I had this underneath the table, smashing the fascia on the bottom of my foot with it, because that'll help loosen, because a lot of people have plantar fasciitis, which is like a calf foot problem. And if you can smash this on your feet, your calves, over time, that can go away. And it's, again, something you can do at the office, something you can do at the desk. There's a very, very low barrier to entry with that. Along with that, there are, you could be doing something like the big toe thumbs up. We've talked about that before. So let's think about, I can't put my foot on the table, but think about my hand as a foot, right? You'll just focus on picking up, the thumb would be the big toe, picking up the big toe, right? You could do that for a few reps, and then you could focus on keeping the big toe on the ground and picking up your other 4 toes, right? And keeping those on the ground. We could probably pull up a video here. That's a really good exercise. There's another exercise that you could do called, I think it's foot crunches. So it's exactly as it sounds. Imagine that my hand is a foot, right? And you're just squeezing your foot as hard as you can, squeezing those toes in and then relaxing, squeezing those toes in and relaxing. It may seem odd, but you are activating all those muscles of your toes. And for most people, up until this point, or up until the point that they started paying attention to barefoot type shit, their feet were literally not doing anything. They were just walking on their feet, but they weren't focusing on moving the digits, right? So now it's almost like, if your hand wasn't a cast for a long time, like years, then it comes out, it's like this, right? You got to bring blood flow and activity back to that limb. So that's what you're doing with big toe crunches. You're squeezing and you're letting go. That will help over time. Over time, you're going to notice, I think you probably notice it too, Andrew, but my toes are never still now. My toes are always doing shit during the day.
No, I need to get better at that, but yeah.
Yeah. There's another thing you could do passively again. Imagine that my hand is a foot. You can go on the top of your foot and stretch the opposite way.
That feels so good.
It feels great, but you don't have to limit doing this to when you're at home or whatever. You can literally just smash the top of your feet, right? Go back and forth, then go on the other side, and you can do that back and forth. Another passive thing that's really, really good for your feet.
I think once you have kids, you'll probably get rid of couches.
Oh, you mean just building bad habits?
Yeah.
I talked to Sam about this. You're right, though.
One thing Gary said, he was just like, if you have a couch and you're sitting on it, your son's just going to think that that's okay. And I'm like, I was like, so that's another huge motivator for me not to sit on that fucking soft, squishy, comfortable couch.
Yeah. You know what? Me and Sam had this conversation the other day. I was like, we do have kids one day. We need to be sitting on the floor more. We can't be sitting in the couch because the kid is going to also want to sit on this couch. And we want that motherfucker to develop well. So,
and then, and as far as building a bond, dude,
oh yeah,
when you're down there where they are, dude, my son, he fucking loves hanging out with me. It's the best, it's the best feeling ever. Cause I'm always down there at his level. We're always so just rolling around. It's so incredible, dude. It's a super cool feeling. In regards to the feet though, they need to make a penis pump for the feet to draw blood into the foot, so that way I don't have to crunch as hard. I think maybe we could figure out an attachment for the penis pump to figure out how to do that.
No, I'm just thinking about the mechanics. You would need a large enough tube that could potentially cut off blood flow, maybe from the calf, squeeze enough, and then suction blood into that area.
Could work.
For anybody wondering about the penis pump, that shit works.
First off, it works.
Yeah.
Second,
we've gotten a lot of comments from. I love how because there are a lot of people who are like, "Oh, that shit's bullshit. Penis pump doesn't work." The amount of comments from dudes that were like, "Oh shit, I started using it and oh wow, it actually made a difference." I'm like, thank you for actually trying this shit. Hey.
If us talking about a penis pump can help one dude's dick get big,
or bigger.
Sorry, bigger.
At the end of the day, you know, you don't have to have a massive hog to have some fun. You could have a good mouth. If we're just being totally real, like just learn cunnilingus, or you know, you're gonna do that whole like, who was it that was like, I don't eat box. His name was DJ Khaled. You remember he's like,
really?
Yeah, DJ Khaled. He went viral for, it was like a few years ago because he's like, I don't do that. I'm a man that doesn't do that. As a man, you shouldn't eat. You know, box.
Okay.
Like, nah, man.
You're tripping.
Give and take. I don't, you know what I don't understand? How could you expect to get some, you know, as a man, if you don't give a little, you know? It's a give and a take.
But
it's a give and a take.
It's give and a take, but like, I mean, it's fun for me, so I'm like, it's a win-win.
You know, though, oh, God.
And then DJ, okay, this is going to be really mean. Like,
oh, what are you about to do?
Well, like, okay, like you don't eat that, but like you eat everything else.
Oh man, you choose to just eat all day long, but this is the one thing you choose not to eat, Mr. Khaled. This is where you draw the line. I'll eat everything, but I won't eat that. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Did he say anything about ass? Or no.
Well, if he doesn't do that, then he definitely stays away from the donut hole. He definitely doesn't. But
starfish.
Anyway, back to feet.
Yeah.
So yeah, we talked about a lot of passive things that you can do, active things that you can do in the gym. Obviously, like as far as footwear, we've talked about Vibrams are really good. Mark rocks his Vibrams a lot. I use Vibrams quite a bit. We have a code for that. These are the Earth Runners. You know what's really stupid? Why I'm so stupid? For a little bit, I was like, damn, man, these Earth Runners stink. And I just kept wearing them for like a solid week. I was like, oh, I hope people can't smell it.
I never, the only thing I smelled is just like that one day where you were like, I need you to put on more deal. Or no, I asked you for
it was post-workout. Yeah.
To take another dude wipe shower.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
I had
Andrew.
to be that friend.
It's really good to have friends that'll call you out when you're not smelling good, because there are some people who just be like, I don't want to be mean. Like, no. If a motherfucker smells, you need to tell them they smell. But you can actually, I washed these Earth Runners off. I used like a scrubber and I cleaned it, and now they don't smell horrible. But Earth Runners are really good sandals. If you're looking for barefoot sandals, that'll have no woman ever be attracted to you ever again. Same thing with Shama sandals, SHAMMA. Shama sandals, another great sandal for having no woman look at you. But it's great for your feet, and that's what we care about. And we're faithful men.
Yeah.
Right?
We got that covered.
We don't need women looking at us.
No, but
right?
Also, like, I was just thinking about this. Like, if I was single and I knew what I know now, and I think I see a chick that I might be interested in, if her feet are out, I'm like, no way. Like, oh my God. I cannot procreate.
No duck foot bitches from me.
I can't procreate with this woman if she's gonna show my son how to, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I'm gonna, like, that bloodline needs to stop right there.
Andrew, the savagery. Jesus. Guys, these are jokes. Okay, these are jokes. This is not serious.
It would be something I would put into consideration, though. Dude, if she is super duck-footed, you're not going to be like, what's that all about?
Bro. Oh my God. That's dog. That's just mean.
But what if her feet are straight and she has thick wrists?
Oh yeah. Honestly, straight feet, thick wrists. Dude, I'm starting to blush back here.
That's what I mean.
I'm really starting to blush back here.
See, it's things that you would. I mean, I'm good. We're set now, but I'm just saying, if in an alternate universe, if I'm single, I would take that into consideration.
But you know what's so funny, dog? Like, in terms of the shit that like we're doing now, and people, you know, like, I think y'all should really get some barefoot sandals. Those are my daily. I'm wearing Earth Runners every day. I'm gonna get some Shamas too. I'm gonna be wearing those every day. Even though they don't look normal, like most people are wearing flip flops, most people are wearing the J's or whatever. Like, Man, my feet are getting stronger, dude. And I just think it's funny how, like, I wonder if the hurdles that a single man must go through. Like, it's just like, we're talking about this. And for some of you bros that are single in the audience, you're like, God damn it. Like, I can't even fucking look normal now.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Right. But hey, do you want better feet or and a stronger body, or do you want a relationship? Fuck. I want the feet and the body.
So this is another chicken and the egg type thing. Like, if you get the strong feet, the strong body, then you'll get the strong relationship. You know,
my
like,
girl
could lead there.
My girl didn't find me because of my style. Just straight up, I'm not a style king, right?
Okay.
I'm not. So, and actually, it's funny. When I started wearing Earth Runner, she's like, great, another thing to just make you look horrible out there. This is perfect for me.
Oh, no.
So, I mean, ladies, if you have a man, buy him some Earth Runners. If you don't want women to look his way, and honestly, for women, I don't think it makes a difference.
No.
Women wearing,
they could rock anything. Yeah.
God, women are so lucky. It's just like, you guys could wear anything. And it's just like,
for those diabetic shoes that we pulled up when we had Anya, like those are.
Well, I really got to call them the diabetic shoes. We got some diabetics in the audience.
I thought that's what they were called.
Actually, I think they are called diabetic shoes. I don't fucking know. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think we can make like some of these like hippie nerdy ass sandals cool. Like,
I think so.
I don't know. It's just gonna take
it's gonna take a decade. Of us. It's gonna take a decade.
A decade.
A solid 10 years. Solid 10 years. And then this is gonna be like the thing,
That's they'll be like, oh, do you remember like 2 decades ago we heard that on the Power Project?
What's after Gen Z?
What's the generation? I couldn't tell you.
Well, someone in the comments is gonna tell us. That's what those guys are gonna wear. Because it's funny, baggy clothing's coming back.
Yeah.
But the Jesus sandals haven't made a return, but I think the Jesus sandals are going to make a return with the next gen.
I think so. With like the shoe game, though, I think that's like kind of sacred at this point because like people love their J's. People will go nuts over Yeezys. I've never quite understood it. Mm-hmm. I do still cherish my Jordans, but I don't wear them. They're just kind of there for looks now.
Yeah. Other things that you guys can be doing. Andrew mentioned it, but another passive tool is the correct toes. I wish I mentioned this when we were talking about the lacrosse ball and the small resistance band. But the correct toes are another passive thing. And a lot of people ask, what are the best toe spreaders, right? I think we can look at toe spreaders from worst to best, but there's really none that are bad, just some that are really good. The correct toes I think are really good. Yeah, they're $65. Okay, so they're more expensive than the toe spacers that you will be getting from the company Toe Spacers or any of these other companies. But the correct toes, they're quality. They're gonna last a long time. You can rinse them off well. They're hard. So like what I like to do when I put them on is I squeeze my toes onto those correct toes while I'm sitting on the couch or just chilling. And that's another passive thing that you can do. Mark walks around the house in those things. And a cool thing also, if you did want to take a walk in those for some reason, you could wear those in your barefoot sandals. So the correct toes are the ones I would go for, but Toe Spacers makes one that's less expensive. And it doesn't break the wallet. I know Amazon has a bunch of toe spacers.
Is the ones that you just mentioned, do they have like this? So the reason why correct toes are like quote unquote the best is the big toe and the middle toe has the most space because that's correct or whatever. The two in the middle, kind of no one gives a fuck. And then the pinky toe is again a little bit further apart than the middle ones. Yeah. So the other ones, do they have that too, or are you not sure?
They don't. Because I have toe space. And again, toe spacers in those other brands are not bad, okay? Because I got a pair of toe spacers. They're not bad. They're good to help bring space between your toes. But I don't think any company has toe spacers that are as good as correct toes.
Yeah.
And they don't sponsor us. I bought my correct toes. You know what I mean? So I just say, if you want to get the best ones. And Squat University, Aaron Horshing, he's the one who put us on these correct toes. And when I got them, I'm like, God, these are better than all the other ones I have. So they're a good one to buy if you're going to buy something passive that can help bring back space between those toes that are currently stuck together.
Yeah, the ones that I have, because I didn't know anything about correct toes either, they're like they're a little bit too squishy. So like they're not gonna spread it out too much, but they do help with the awareness. And they kind of does give you something to like push out on.
Yeah.
Kind of like the hand things that you have.
The
extensors or whatever.
These are, I'm going to mention it because someone's going to ask. These are drop sky finger extensors from Amazon. Help with like extensor strength and shit. But anyway, keep on.
So it's kind of like that, it's just something that's there. Like, again, it's almost like having the toe socks. It's just something that's going to help you with awareness. That's going to keep you, moving a little bit. But I do wish they were a little bit tougher. So I'm going to have to get some correct toes also.
Absolutely.
I keep like kind of, I don't know, lagging and like hoping that I can find something cheaper on Amazon, but like they don't exist.
Yeah. They're $65, but again, they're worth it. I bought a pair for myself. I bought a pair for my girlfriend, and I dig them quite a bit. I think you will dig them too.
Yeah. Can you comfortably wear those like, I don't know, a couple hours?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like again, and they're great because like what I like to do is I'll wear them, I'll walk around the house in them, then I'll squeeze my toes against them, right? And that will like you'll notice the tendons in your foot like just really flare up. When we're talking about all this, understand like the changes in your feet, it's going to take time. I know some people think it's like a fad or whatever, but I've seen foot transformations, bro. Anya's foot transformation. Todd Duffy, he's this fighter, MMA fighter. We've been DMing back and forth, and he told me like once he started wearing Vibrams a few years ago, he hasn't gone back, and his foot, like the way his foot changed is wild. My foot has become more muscular, and I can see the tendons in my feet more. The activity in my feet is quite a bit more. So this isn't a joke. Like I know, we pick up quite a few things here and there, and we start new habits, but it's the long game with this. It's the long game for strengthening your feet, changing the way you walk, changing the way you move, because you're gonna have so much less pain. That was a really odd way to phrase it. Down the line, if you get so much less pain,
so much less,
so much less. You're gonna have so much less pain down the road as you slowly make these changes.
Too bad we already have that in the process, but like think so much less.
Think so much less.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But I mean, I'm trying to think like we do get into some like fringe, I'll call it, stuff, but like I can't think of anything where I was like, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. No, seriously, dude. That I think that's a really cool thing too. Is like we have all these people come in, right? There are some people that I see comments are like, "Oh, you guys are on another fad," or "Oh, this is just the new flavor." But it's not, because like all of us have different goals. You have a goal of moving better, being better athlete, being in less pain. Mark wants to be able to run, move well, be mobile, flexible. Coming from powerlifting, I also want to move really well for martial arts. I want to be super flexible. I want to be able to do crazy calisthenics stuff.
Trying to be a champion?
Yeah, pretty much, right?
Exactly.
But also, with all of that, the thing that's going on in I think all of our heads is we're thinking 20 years down the road. Like we're like, okay, how are we going to be when we're older? Because we've seen how certain people are, even if they're lifting, how they just don't move well.
Right.
And a lot of these things that we're doing are going to pay dividends down the line. But it's going to just take some small change and adjustment right now.
Yeah, and if you are still kind of on the fence, well, thanks for listening this far.
Yeah.
But it's your feet. When are you ever not going to use your feet? Like even if you're like, oh, it's bullshit. It's not going to help my back pain. It's not going to help my knee pain, whatever it may be. But like, what if when you hit what if when you struck the ground or whatever it is that you're doing, if that became way easier and you can do it way more efficiently?
Yeah.
Whether it's field sports, court sports, or you're just trying to get up and down the fucking, warehouse to move boxes and shit. Like that, it just, I don't know. It's just like, why would you drive a car with flat tires? Like you would never do that.
Yeah.
So
you're going to age well.
Right. There you go.
Yeah, I think as we've been getting into more of this stuff, I have started to find what I've turned into kind of a bit of a freak. What's happened is as we had people in here, right? I started paying attention to a lot of people walk. And I started staring at a lot of people's feet. And I was in the mall the other day.
Yeah.
with Sam, and we were walking, and I was like looking at this. I have a tendency of looking at people's feet now. And I was looking at this man walking with his child. And I was staring at his feet for quite some time as we were walking. And then he looked up at me, and I was still looking at his feet. And then in my peripherals, I'm like, oh God, eyes. I looked up and I saw him, and he was like,
the fuck?
He thought I was looking at his kid. He thought I was staring at his child. And I couldn't even explain. I was just like,
because what are you going to say?
Like, no, bro, I was looking at your feet. He's like, what? I couldn't even change the story. Like, I just,
sucks.
so I was the sandwiches. We just kept walking, just ignored it. But
that Arden Mall is a trip, dude.
Yeah, it is. It is.
We went a couple weeks back. Oh man, yeah. Fuck. Okay. So there was this chick. All right, really dark skin. So she's a dark skinned black girl.
Yeah.
She had pure white, or were they pure white? No. They were like yellow. That's what it was. They were yellow see-through leggings.
Oh Lord.
And a pure white like thong.
Oh, so you could see the thong?
You could see everything.
Oh wow.
I was just like, she's just walking around here like that. Like,
well, I mean,
what a damn shame.
Hey, like, people can wear what they want to wear, you know?
But also, I was looking at everyone's feet and just being like, damn, that's crazy. I did see this one kid. He was at least 6'4". Tall, goofy young kid.
Yeah.
But when he would step, I'd be like, oh shit, like you're going to be a good athlete.
Yeah.
It's because his feet were fairly straight. He was like, he looked like he was moving like Michael Jordan.
Oof.
And I was just like, damn, I want to see this kid like move. But it's kind of weird, you know, like, hey kid.
Yeah. Mark's
what team do you play for?
You're gonna be the white guy who's like, hey buddy, you want to play for my team?
Yeah.
You know, oh god. But this is another thing that you guys can do. We had every goddamn Dre in here, and I think a really cool spark from that conversation was creativity. If you go to every goddamn Dre's page, I should just call him Dre, but every goddamn Dre is his Instagram handle. You guys should know that by now. You'll see him doing a lot of kettlebell stuff, but he's on his toes. And I've been starting to do a lot of kettlebell stuff on my toes. I've been starting to do a lot of squatting, just not even on a slant board, but kettlebell in hand, goblet squatting on toes, split stance goblet squatting on the toes. Again, this is another way that you can strengthen the feet and also strengthen that athletic stance, because with a lot of movements you do, generally you're going to see a lot of people with planted feet in the gym. And I get the safety aspect of it. But if you're also somebody who wants to play field sports or move like an athlete, it's probably a good idea to see how maybe you can adjust some of these things so that you're on your toes. Will that make you potentially have to use less weight? Absolutely. But you're still going to be getting that benefit of balance, being on your toes, being bouncy, and overall moving better. And I think this opens up a lot of creativity and a lot of ability for people to do different things with weights that you don't typically see shown or taught or Yeah, it's definitely not. Nobody coaches that. Right? Nobody coaches it because it's something that a lot of PTs would be like, oh, this is unsafe, etc. But if somebody's using the adequate load and their technique is good, it's very good for them.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, right? Like, no high school coach wants to hurt their kid. You know, they just want to be like, okay, we're gonna do whatever exercise. Make sure you guys are stable. Don't move from that position. But it's pretty. I mean, again, like Mark had said, it's sort of like the exercise will prohibit you from lifting too much if you are doing it in the way you're explaining.
Proceed with caution, friends.
There you go.
With caution. I think
that's a show.
I think we hit it. I think we hit it well, guys.
All right. Hopefully you guys dug today's episode. If you did,
they dug it. Don't say hopefully.
Well,
we know y'all dug today's episode.
Okay.
I know you guys know this because Andrew and myself. It's just a better podcast, right?
Oh, no. People are like, well,
tear down this sign.
I was about to hit the like button until you said that.
Watch us get hella dislikes.
Well, a good thing, I mean, that YouTube doesn't show that shit anymore.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, our ratios are so upside down right now. It's crazy. You guys should help us out. So if you guys like today's episode, please hit that like button and drop us a comment down below. Let us know what foot exercise you guys plan on doing, or the ones that you are already doing. That was hard to say. And please follow or subscribe to the podcast and turn on all those bell notifications. And please follow the podcast at powerproject on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. My Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter is at I am Andrew Z. Nsima. Where are you at?
Discord's popping. People are going back and forth with a lot of good shit in there. Discord. The link is in the description for Discord. So go ahead and check that out, guys. And that is, all links to we talked about Earthrunners, Shama, Vivo, Vibram. All those links are below. So you guys can check those out there. My social is at Nsima Inyang on Instagram and YouTube, at Nsima Inyang on TikTok and Twitter. Mark? I'm at Mark Smelly Bell. Straight.
That was good.
I can't do a Mark. Mark doesn't sound like your news anchor white man.
No.
He's not like that.
He sounds like Chris Bell.
And how do you do a Chris Bell?
I don't know, a little raspy.
Hello?
No, it's
Yellow.
It's like that was closer. That was pretty good.
I'm gonna get my Mark impression down.
That'd be sick.
All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Go on Mark's page and tell him to stop taking fucking vacations. Anyway, Straight's every week this week is there straight. We'll catch y'all later.
Peace.
Bye.